what's going on, everybody? This is Kyle, and welcome back to another episode of Kubb Talk. On this episode, we're going to hear from JP Larson of JP's Backyard Games, as well as Chaska Kubb. So make sure you check that out. JP's a good dude. He's doing a lot of great stuff for the Kubb community. So, without any further ado, Mr. J.P. Larson. Hey, what's going on, JP? How are you, sir?
Good. How you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you. I'm doing well, doing well. I like all the Chaska Kubb stuff you got going on there. You got
Yeah,
the
a little stuff going on. I got the banner over the shoulder here, and
yeah,
he's backyard game stuff over here, and
yeah.
Chaska shirt.
Is that a JP's hat you got on?
It is the JP's hat. It was kind of one of the first iterations, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. Good deal. Good deal. And so you just wrapped up a virtual game. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cold outside. I played Mark Oman, so got a little play in the backyard this morning.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. What'd you say the temperature is there do you live in Chaska itself,
No,
or
the
you
temperature said 8 degrees when I started, but it feels like a -5, so
8 degrees
it's
feels
chilly out there.
yeah, 8 degrees feels like -5. That is we don't even comprehend that level of cold here. Um,
We played in colder, but it's not exactly fun to be out there. But
yeah,
definitely.
yeah, nice. So, where are you from originally?
I went to high school in Iowa, so northeast corner of Iowa, Decorah, Iowa.
Yeah,
That's kind of where I grew up. So that's from my hometown. His family still lives there.
yeah.
I actually put my Kubb tournament there in the summer for their annual Nordic festival.
Oh, nice.
So I've been that for the last 6 or 7 years. But
Yeah,
majority of the family's still there.
yeah. No. So, are you actually in like Chaska, Chaska itself, or are you in the surrounding area?
I live in Chaska, yeah. So about 2.5 years ago, my wife and I moved closer to Minneapolis, but we lived in Chaska for about 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how the Chaska Club got started, and that's where we all lived, was in Chaska.
Okay. Cool. So, how and when were you introduced to Kubb?
It was probably 2009. Somebody at school that I work with mentioned this backyard game, and this Viking game is what they called it. They didn't really remember what the name of it was. They didn't know the rules or anything. So we went home that night and kind of scrounged around on the internet and found a Wikipedia page that talked about the Viking game called Kubb, and got a Scandinavian background, so it kind of hooked me a little bit. And then from there, made a set in my garage. Wasn't right away, but pretty soon after that. I kind of had a little hobby of playing a lot of backyard games growing up, and tried to add one more to the mix, and Kubb was the next thing. So heard about it and then made a set.
Nice. What was it that got you hooked? Like,
Growing up, my family had always played beanbags, or we call it beanbags back in the day. My grandpa made a set for both my family, or his family, and my other grandparents' family. So anytime we had a family gathering, we'd always be playing some type of game in the backyard. And something with Kubb, that Scandinavian thing or that Viking theme. My high school mascot in Decorah is the Vikings, and the college in town has the Norse as their mascot. So it was kind of one of those things. It's like, let's see what this thing's all about. That's kind of how it started.
yeah, that's awesome.
Haven't stopped since.
Yeah. How often do you get to play?
Right now I play about once a week. Right now in the wintertime.
Yeah.
In the summertime, when it's tournament season, we'll play a little bit every day or do something. When we were going to the World Tournament a couple of years ago, we tried to play almost every single day a little bit. Or I had a staked in Kubb outside my garage, so every time I either pulled in the driveway or pulled out, I'd throw 2 batons or throw a baton at that staked in Kubb, just to make sure that it was kind of finding that rhythm. So depends on what we're doing here. So this time it's kind of a little bit lighter, so I'm not out there throwing anything just for fun, but so get out there for the virtuals that we got going on. And that's about it for right now.
Nice. And so, do you guys put on this virtual league? Is it's Chaska Kubb spearhead this one?
Yeah, so we came up with this idea probably about, actually, I think we um, tried it out last year just to see if it would work. Because we got a couple guys in our club that don't really live close to Chaska, so we're trying to find ways to, practice with them or compete with them. Because if you live by yourself and there's nobody else playing Kubb, it's uh, hard to get motivated to go out and play by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So we tried to figure out a way to include those guys who are a little bit further away, and we found this. We actually used to kind of videotape the whole thing and show pictures, and then they'd stand it up. And we've really streamlined the process in the last year and a half or so. We've had, I think this is the third virtual league now that we've had going on. So we've had people from Europe playing with us, and this one currently is just pretty small, just for logistic reasons wise. In the wintertime, there's only 8 guys, and most of them are in the Midwest here. So it's going pretty quick.
Do y'all use Kubb Tracker for that?
No, we actually just go back and forth with FaceTime Messenger. So
yeah, okay,
pretty simple. Yeah.
Nice, cool. So let's talk about the club, Chaska Kubb.
Yeah.
How and when did that club get started?
So in 2010, after we'd been playing in the backyard for a little bit, I looked online and found a tournament, and it happened to be the 2010 national tournament. I emailed Eric Anderson. I said, "Hey, we found this game. Could we come watch you guys play in this game?" And he's like, sent back a message. He's like, "Watch? No, you guys can play." So we're like, okay. So 3 of us went up, and it was kind of a guys' weekend. A couple guys I teach with, Ford and Matt Barra. We went up. Probably spent too much time playing, sitting on the side, having some adult beverages and grilling food versus playing Kubb, but we kind of fell in love with it, and that was kind of the start. So 2010, that was the first, just 3 of us, and then the next year, I don't know if see if you can get this in here, but 2011 we had made some Kubb hats, so and then everybody had a nickname, and that's kind of what's kind of stuck with our club. Everybody gets a nickname after a couple tournaments or shortly after being in the club for a little bit. They get a nickname, and it kind of sticks with them for a while. I guess over the years, some people's nicknames have changed. They've earned different ones, so we have to update those things every once in a while.
Yeah. What's your nickname?
Currently, it's Lucy.
Lucy?
Yeah, I'm Lucy. So Phil Boostowers gave me that one. We're trying to make sure everybody stays loose. So at the time I was the only left-handed player. So
okay.
Lefty Lucy, try to stay loose. So,
yeah.
That's kind of one of the things I'm pretty good at for my club is making sure everybody stays loose and having a good time, and ringing cowbells or whatever it may be to have fun with Kubb.
Yeah, Jesse Frame commented. He said, "Don't be surprised if JP rings a cowbell at some point during his interview."
You just never know. There might be one around here.
I think I have one in my bedroom. I have a JP's Backyard Games cowbell.
I think there's about 500 of them out there somewhere in the Kubb community. So they're spread out.
Yeah.
That's cool that they're out there.
That's awesome. How many members do you guys have in your club?
We actually just added one as of yesterday, yesterday officially got a new member in. So I think we're about 12 or 13 that are, Kubb players with us. We've had a couple guys that came in and started playing, and then all of a sudden life happened, family happened. So we're right around 12, 13, somewhere in that range right now. So I'm just trying to look for ways to grow that.
Yeah. I love y'all's tournament shirts that you guys have. That they're real sporty looking. They're pretty sharp looking.
Yeah. So the first ones we've had a couple versions, but the main one is somehow we got nicknamed Chaska Blue or Big Blue a couple of years ago, and there were some different teams. There was the Fox Valley was red, and we had some blue. It kind of goes back to my my hometown, and they're the red, white, and blue, the Vikings. I love the colors, that 3-color combination. So red, white, and blue, you'll see it in our club colors. You'll see it on my business logo. I just kind of love that combination. So that's what it is. We got we got the red. We got added red shirts this year. So we got the red, and we got the white. So we got all 3 colors represented in our jerseys now.
Yeah, that's awesome. What would you say would be your most memorable tournament experience?
So I've been playing since 2010, so that's really hard to narrow it down,
Yeah.
right? Like, I think I got three when I was thinking about this. Probably like in 2010 or 11, I played a tournament with my brother. He'd never even seen Kubb before, and we showed him at the tournament. Um, it was actually in Des Moines, and we were down there, and he'd never even. I don't even know if he'd thrown a baton before, but he's pretty net. Well, he played a couple, like in the backyards. Somehow we ended up making it to the finals of that tournament, and we were hooping and hollering and having a good time. Tournament went later than it was supposed to. Got the spotlights out. It was just a lot of fun. So that was the first one that just kind of got that feeling and hooked it going in there. And then 2013, we were was kind of a year when they had some predictions on when tough matches were going to happen. And in our group play, we actually had to play against Greg Jacobson's team and Jacobson's team, and we ended up beating them, and it was a really tight match. We took them out and made kind of a run to the finals that year, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But, it's hard to take away from going to Sweden to play over there twice, and it's just a whole different thing when you get to see all those different cultures and the different people.
Yeah.
So those are the three biggest tournaments that stick in my mind as really memorable.
What years did you go to Sweden?
2016 and 2018. So
okay.
Yeah, got fortunate to go over there twice.
Yeah. And when I talked to Eric, he said that did he go in 2016?
No, he was there they were 2014, I think. So,
okay.
Yeah, 2011 and 2014.
Yeah. That's awesome. And that's set up at Worlds to be 6-on-6, right?
Yeah, it's always 6-on-6, which is really impressive.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's a logistical nightmare to get six guys, from here to
sure,
and make it work. But yeah, we were able to do it.
Yeah. You have to qualify for that tournament?
It's a 2-day tournament, so they have it set up so if you do so well in the tournament, then you don't have to play the first day the next year. But we had to go through the qualifying first day of the tournament and then make it to the second day, and then that's when kind of the teams that did really well from the year before get put into a new group play and stuff like that.
Yeah. How did y'all do?
We took the first year we got tied for 5th in 2016, and then 2018 we made it to the cage, so top 4, and then we were on a roll, we were having good, and then I won't bore you with the details, but we didn't finish the way we wanted to, so ended up in 4th place. So we had a great time.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I'll ask you the same question that I asked Christopher last week. What do you think about the idea of standardized rules and set sizes and things like that as like a universal standard? Do you like that idea, or do you like the idea of your farm, your rules type aspect?
It's always nice to be on consistent equipment. Like when we first started playing, we played in our backyard. The rules that I found were we used the Kubbs were bigger and our batons were smaller, so like blasting a pile of 3 or 4 is almost impossible. And I've seen I've gone to the store Menards or Shields, or you buy some of these smaller sets and people play with it one time. This isn't any fun. So I think that can be really challenging if people find they hear us talking about Kubb and they go to a store and they buy a smaller version and they play with it and it doesn't have the same aspects or skills and it's harder to do some of those things. I think that can be really challenging for people that are new to the game. That being said, the batons over in Sweden we played with were not the exact same that we played with here, and you just got to adjust a little bit. They were similar, but they were not exactly the same. As far as making Chaska, one of our Paul Knutson came up with the neighbor rule, right? He's the neighbor in our club. His nickname is Neighbor. He was the guy that came up with the idea of the reward Kubb. So I think that is really, we played with that yesterday in our virtual, and after we were playing it yesterday, a couple guys got together and that came up a few times. It happens in the snow even, and I like that. It's not necessarily a rule that I think has to be there to enjoy the game, but yeah, I think it's like you said, your rules, your game. Like some of those little things like that doesn't really bother me. Like 100% in, I doesn't matter to me either way if it's 50% or 100 in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those things don't really bother me. But
Yeah. What's your strength as far as playing, competitively goes and being part of a team? Where are you on that?
yeah, that's changed quite a bit over the years we've been playing. Being left-handed has an advantage, I guess, when you're playing. So sometimes when you're blasting, sometimes it looks like you got to have better to have a different angle. So that's kind of been a role that I played on my team, is being that left-handed blaster once in a while, where you get to come in from a different spot. I think I'm pretty consistent. I'm not the top 8-meter guy in our club. I'm not necessarily the best blaster all the time, but I think I'm right in the middle spot. So I typically play in the middle or towards the end. I'll let the other guys do the drilling, and I'll let the other guys kind of beat off with the blasting, unless it's a definite lefty shot.
Yeah. Do you get to play with the same group of guys as far as tournaments and league go, or do you have kind of a rotating group of people?
Yeah, the nice thing about our club is like we can play with anybody in our club, and we started in 2013. We had this. We started. Don't have my hammers in front of us, but we started this deal where we made different size hammer, and whoever the top player in our club, and we play 1-on-1, and whoever's the best one gets the biggest hammer, and the lowest guy in the totem hole gets the smallest hammer. In 2013, we had a lot of matches going back and forth, and we chose our team based on the top 3 for that year. So we put our top 3 guys on one team, and then 3, 4, 5, and 4, 5, and 6 run team number 2. And we tried that, and we've done all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Right? So in the past, we've done when we were going to Sweden, every tournament we went to, we tried to pick 2 or 3 guys that hadn't played together very much to get them to play together, to kind of work out some team dynamics and figure out where they're going to play. And the last couple of years, our club has been really fortunate to win the club championship, where you play in 4 tournaments, and you play with the same guys all 4 tournaments, and you keep track of your points and scores and stuff like that. And so our club has won that the last 3 years, 3 out of 4 years. I think this year, we don't have any set plans to go back to World anytime soon, and we're just gonna, whoever is available to a tournament, we'll just say, all right, let's put a couple teams together, or a team together, whoever can make it. Everybody's so busy, right? Almost everybody's got kids and life, so it's hard to always get everybody to every tournament. So whatever guys we can get to go to our tournament, we try to keep our club together as much as we can, and it's easy when you got 9 or 10 guys. We got 2 teams going up to Duluth this weekend, and next week at the Loppet we'll have just one team, and whoever show up will play on one team. It's gonna be great.
Nice. So what's the club tournament? What 4 clubs or what 4 tournaments does that consist of?
Yeah, so the club championship was it's put on by I think it's Kubb Nation magazine, or Eric Anderson does it, and the goal there was to try to get having the same teams, same people on a team show up to places and play together, and you get more points based on how many people or teams are at a tournament. So the more people that are there, the better you do. You get more points based on the size of the tournament and stuff like that. So nationals being the biggest tournament, our team, we took 3rd place this year, so that gave us a lot of points for that tournament.
Yeah.
And then our team, we won the Kubb on a Stick tournament in Minneapolis, but that was the one that kind of solidified our deal there. And we played in I can't remember where else we played together as the pre-nationals this year was kind of a big point for it. Finished 3rd place there, so we finished pretty well in a couple of big tournaments, and that always helps your team points out when you can do those things.
That's cool. That's awesome that there's that much Kubb going on in that area. Here in Arkansas, it's definitely a foreign concept. So we're trying to build the scene. Trying to.
building the scene is hard. My hometown in Decorah, where I put on a tournament, every year in July. Um, I try to get people out when I'm back home every once in a while to play, but it's hard when you're not there to try to get people into it. And even here in where we're at, like in Chaska, we get together and play at the park. People will come by and look, and they'll come out and play for a little bit once in a while, but it's hard to get them to come back. So it's always a challenge to grow this thing.
Yeah. Speaking of building the scene, when did you decide to start building sets? And I guess when did you decide to start JP's Backyard Games?
So yeah, in 2010 we went to our first tournament, and we'd been playing some in the backyard with the group of guys, and I made a set. So I think I made probably 5 or 6 sets and just kind of handed them out to the guys that we played with, and then we went to the national tournament and fell in love with it there. I said, well, if we're going to do this, let's make an official set. So scoured around for the lumber yards and found the same type of wood and started making some sets. And more and more people were like, hey, I want a set. So started making more and more, and brought a couple up to the national tournament the next year. And talking to Eric, he was like, hey, our coop sets provider isn't getting them to us in time, and we're really stressed out about it. It's like, would you be able to make some for us? I said, sure. And so I made them, and he's like, we really, do you have a business or anything? And I'm like, not really. We don't really feel confident sending, money to just a person making coop sets. So I'm like, let's start a business. So
Yeah.
I guess JP's Backyard Games came around because Eric Anderson, the national championship, needed some coop sets. So
Yeah.
since then, it's been kind of rolling.
Yeah. How many, and I mean, obviously you'd probably be estimating, but how many sets do you think you have built?
I haven't kept track, but the last time, I think it was 2 years ago, I kept track. I made over 500 sets 2 years ago.
Wow.
So I think the number keeps going up every year. So it's up there. So there, a lot of tournaments this side of the Mississippi use all my sets and everything like that. Or in the Midwest, I guess most of them use my sets, so it's kind of cool that they're out there. Got a couple stores that I take them to, so they're being pushed out that way.
Yeah.
Neat.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, the sets. I know you make the sets that get donated through the Steve Anderson Kubb program, and so that, I guess it was 2018 when I applied for that for my kids at school, and you guys sent us 3 sets, and they've definitely gotten a lot of good use out of those. Yeah.
This is one of the coolest things. I don't make a whole lot of money on this. This is more just kind of for fun. It's probably more of a hobby that keeps me out of trouble than makes me any money, So I guess that's kind of a good thing. But I got that Steve Anderson set. I'm going to send out about 20 more sets this year, which is really awesome. In fact, at our school that I work at, actually, is a recipient. They actually used to make some in their tech ed classes. They would make them as a part of their curriculum, but we got a new teacher in, and he doesn't know what it is yet. So we'll get some back in there, because the ones that have been there have been loved for a number of years.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, my students love it, and so it's nice to be able to take them outside after a day of testing or something like that,
right.
And get some fresh air, get out of the classroom, and let them do something that otherwise they would never have any opportunity to do, and teach them something that most of them are all they get hooked, and they always ask, when we play Kubb again, when are we gonna play some more Kubb? So,
we have kids asking all the time when we can get out, and they know that I'm pretty serious about it at school. I have some pictures up and stuff around the building, and a couple kids are always talking trash, like they're going to beat us, and anytime we'll all play, and it's just fun to listen to them talk and jaw jack a little bit, and it just makes it fun too.
Yeah, I think it's so funny because there's the saying that Kubb brings people together and creates peace on earth, and that is true until you start playing with ninth graders. Then the trash then the trash talking starts, and they're
Yeah,
entertaining for sure.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, it makes you smile every time.
Yeah. So how can people, for those that don't know, how can people, buy some sets from you?
Yeah, so I have a small little website, JP's Backyard Games. jpsbackyardgames.com will get you to where you need to go, or you can email me at jpsbackyardgames@gmail.com. Those are the two best ways to get a hold of me. Um, yeah, like I said, this is kind of a part-time deal, but I do something with it almost every single day. Like right now, I'm been organizing stuff for the one-on-one national tournament, or one-on-one world tournament, this summer, and that's over in the corner. I got stuff being back here that's being donated for some high schools and stuff like that. So there's stuff going on all the time with food. So I get about an hour or two in the day, no matter what happens.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about social media? You or Chaska, do you guys have social media accounts that people can
Yeah,
follow?
yeah, we're Chaska Kubb's on Facebook. Chaska Kubb. We got a team page, and then we just got a page that we use for like meeting up and stuff like that. So got two of those, and then my personal stuff. Yeah, I got JP's Backyard Games on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Well, hopefully people reach out and
yeah.
give you a follow and send you some money for some Coop sets or
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
cool. Yeah, that's my goal. Is I don't necessarily try to get Kubb sets shipped out within 24 hours or so if I can help it. I'm usually pretty good about that, as long as I got wood on hand.
Yeah.
Right now over in the other room down here in the basement, I think I got 17, 18 sets ready to go, but I got 600 kings ready to roll if I need to. So
Yeah.
wood for 600 kings. So if it needs to happen, I'm ready.
Yeah. How long does it take you to get a set built from start to finish?
Yeah, I never just do like one set anymore at a time. I always do like mass production kind of one piece at a time. I either usually make coups or batons or kings. So yesterday I made some of the pine coups that I make for the beginner sets or the sets that I'm giving away. I think I made 90 coups yesterday in a little over an hour and a half. So got a kind of a little system now, so I can pound through some things pretty fast if I need to.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You said pine for the beginner sets and the sets that you give away to use poplar for the other sets, or what are you using for the other ones?
Yeah. So all the tournament sets are poplar sets, 100% poplar. That kind of seems to be the tournament standard right now. I've experimented with some walnut and some different things and some oak, but it seems like the oak splinters really easily. Walnut, like nobody want to spend $400 on a Kubb set, so or at least not yet anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
stick with the stuff that people be willing to buy and purchase. And the poplar stuff, I'm really impressed with how well it holds up. People always ask what's the difference, and I actually have a pine set that I have in my backyard that I used to use for practice and training that has been out there for 3 years. I leave it out there all the time. I never bring it in. I never do anything with it. It just stays out there, and it's ugly, it's brown or it's gray, but it's Kubb and it works. So, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I got one more question for you, and
Right.
that question is, what is it, if you can narrow it down to one thing, if not one thing, that's fine. If a couple things, that's great. But what is it that you love so much about Kubb?
Um, the one I have just as much fun playing with the guys that practice and train with, going to Worlds, as I do playing with like my grandma at Thanksgiving time or my nieces and nephews. Like I can have just as much fun in the backyard with those guys that never play, or I can have just as much fun playing with the guys that take it super serious. So the game is just so universal. Like when you're playing with your family in the backyard, and my brothers are trash talking, and my grandma's out there throwing, or my aunt and uncle are throwing, or my dad's playing. Like everybody gets one baton, and like I miss too. Like when they laugh and yell at me because I miss, I'm like, it happens, and
Yeah.
so like that's probably the best thing about Kubb is like you can play at a super competitive level, or you can play for fun, and it's still the same game, and you don't have to keep score.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's a blast. We keep a set in the car at all times, So if we're ever at somebody's house or whatever, and get a little bit of free time, I'm always like, "Hey, you guys want to go play some Cube?" And
Yeah.
yeah,
So
it's great, and it's super fun to introduce it to new people that have never played or heard
right.
of it before. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much
Yeah. Well, look
for.
at this. Can you see this?
Yeah.
This is the first king I ever made,
Oh wow.
and it was made from my parents took off their deck on their house, and they were getting ready to put on an addition, and this was a post that they used to. It was left in a bin that they were not sure what they're going to do with. So, first king I ever made. Still got the holes from the nails that held up the deck. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
there.
That's so cool. Nice. Well, man, I appreciate your time. I won't take up any more of your time. Just thanks for taking some time out of your day and
Thank
talking
you
with
very
me. And
much.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
great.
hopefully our paths cross again at nationals this year.
Yeah,
And yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, thanks for doing this. This has been a lot of fun.
All right, so there's a lot of Coop coming up on Saturday, January 25th. Some of those tournaments that you might know about or might not know about can be found on Kuban.com. And so coming up this Saturday, January 25th, is the Cabin Fever Cube Tournament in Appleton, Wisconsin, Cube Society Winterfest Scramble in Scandia, Minnesota, Lake Superior Ice Festival Cube Tournament in Superior, Wisconsin, and the Scuffle for the Shovel in Concord, North Carolina. Now, Eric Goplin from the Loppet tournament, Captain Ken's Loppet Cube tournament, asked if I would make this announcement. So, if you are registered for that and you are unsure about your registration, this is what Eric says to do. He says that you need to go to minnesotacube.com, scroll to the bottom, click contact, and then you will see his name and a link to his email address right there. So if you're unsure if you are registered for Captain Ken's Loppet Cube tournament, again, go to minnesotacube.com, scroll to the bottom, click contact, and then click Eric's name, and that will be a link to his email address. Shoot him an email, and he can answer all your questions. So there it is, guys. Episode 3 is in the books. Make sure you subscribe to us here on YouTube as well as follow us on Instagram. Hope you have a great week, and until next time, we'll see you on the pitch.